You guys, I have a surprise for you. My bag of
Motherfucker.
rotisserie chicken.
Oh my
Fuck.
god. You can't do that after
Why
a
did
trip.
I send you that video?
I also my kiwis. I'm in my kiwi phase where you eat the whole
Cute.
thing.
Are you eating the skin?
Yeah, extra
I did
fiber.
That
make
makes
a
it so
video of
much
that.
easier, huh?
It sure does. But I thought you guys would appreciate my bag of rotisserie chicken because it's my latest obsession.
Fuck. Well, I made your chicken last night.
Did it turn out good?
The rice is so good with like the chicken broth sauce all over it.
Yeah. It's
My
so
chicken-
good.
What chicken broth sauce?
Brittany made chicken and rice when she was at my house, and didn't you try it too? I thought it was so good, so she sent me how to make it, and I made it last night.
I think
Was I sick? I'm like, why do I not remember?
it's hard to cook chicken without, like, if you haven't cooked a lot of chicken before, like a breast, it takes a little bit of time for it to like get right so that it's still like moist and juicy.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
Is I overcook the shit out of every chicken.
Yeah.
breast.
That's what I was like. I cut it open and I was like, oh, this looks fine. And then I was like, I'm going to put it on a little bit longer just in case.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, I see pink. Even though
Well,
it's not.
I didn't even
thing-
see pink, but
The thing about the
Oh, I
chicken
make it up.
too, especially if you're like if you cook 2 chicken breasts, you're probably not going to eat 2 chicken breasts. So I always like undercook it a little bit because when you microwave it, it cooks it the rest of the way, so that
Yeah.
you're not ever having like overcooked chicken. So the one that I eat for that night, I'll cook a little bit longer, and then the other ones I pull off so that they are a little bit underdone, and then when you put them in the microwave, it finishes cooking them to the right temperature.
smart.
But yeah, it does. It took me probably like 3 or 4 times of like checking it. And I was like meat thermometering it. Like for the, actually probably, I forgot about this, but for the first like probably 5 to 10 times I made it, I used a meat thermometer like religiously to make sure it was like the right temperature to make sure it didn't get overcooked.
I need to get one of those because I also keep overcooking my steak.
Yeah.
My Bluetooth one is like life changing. Like
It's so expensive. I was like, I looked it up because you were describing it. And I was
well,
like,
they have
oh my
like
God,
a
I
cheaper
want
one
this.
too.
I like really want
Wait, what?
one, but then
The one that like connects to your phone, like so you just input whatever you're cooking, and then like it sends you notifications like 5 minutes till you need to take it off the heat or blah blah blah.
I need to get
But
that.
It was like on our wedding registry, but it was like it's probably
Yeah.
like $99 for the
Oh.
newest one. But then they have a cheaper one that's like 40 or something.
I don't think
Oh.
they do. I think their cheapest one is like 99, and then the other ones go up from there.
One of my friends just sent me it like literally the other day. 'Cause I was
Really?
like,
And it
What's
was
the brand?
40?
yeah, it's like their older model.
Huh. I feel like the newer model had something else that I was like, I really need
It
that
might.
portion of it. There was like something
Yeah.
of the newer stuff. But the other thing that's really nice is I think you can get like multiple probes with yours. So you can
that's
like
cool.
cook, like especially if you're cooking like
Multiple
a
things.
ribeye steak and a filet mignon steak, like they have very different like cook times.
Mhm.
So it's nice that you can kind of have variety
Yeah,
there.
that is cool. I just saw a TikTok last night of this girl saying to switch to chicken thighs instead of breasts, and it's like way easier to not.
Are thighs
overcook
white
them.
meat?
No, I think they're dark meat.
Thighs
I
are
don't
more
love dark
fatty.
meat.
That's the only thing of like, but they definitely are easier to cook and they don't get dried out as much. But
I don't know if I've ever cooked a chicken thigh.
you probably have.
This drink is like really thick right now.
What is it?
Is it a protein shake?
Oh, it's like a yogurt thing. They're really, really, really good.
Oh, from
I just
Chobani?
need to shake it more. Yeah.
They start
like
out
the
really
animal.
thick.
Well, not normally. That's why I'm like, sometimes in our fridge, like the back, like
Yes.
freezes a little bit, you know. And then like sometimes I get things, and I'm like, oh, this is just ice. Like it's just frozen.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to have a real kitchen again. Having one for a week, I was like, wow.
Do you have a timeline
My dad's coming tomorrow
to do what?
Oh,
to finish everything.
holy shit!
How long do you
I
think
know.
he's going to take?
He was like, I'm leaving May 17th, whether it's done or not. So
Okay.
Oh, that's great though to know.
yeah,
Timeline.
I think he was like, I'm going to teach you guys like how to do stuff for the most part. And I was like, well, you better fucking teach us because we have not been very good about getting taught things. You kind of, don't explain it and expect us to figure it out.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I think luckily a lot of it's like flooring So I think me and Joe will be able to do that like independently while he like works on some of the kitchen stuff. And then
That's so exciting.
yeah, I'm very, very, very excited.
And you guys are also like hiring people? Like there'll also be people helping with like the
No, I don't think
tile or the backsplash and things
I
like
honestly
that? Or
might
he's doing
find
that
somebody to
himself?
do the tiling because I do not really like tiling, but depending on the quotes I get, I might just do it myself.
Yeah.
But I just really want
You
it to
could
like
just
look
do it
really, really
slowly.
good.
Yeah. You could like do it like break it up slowly, like one side of the wall on one
Yeah,
weekend, and
that's
then
true.
like that's how I painted my house. Like I'd do one wall one day,
Yeah.
but then you have
That
all the
honestly is so
cleanup
good.
stuff sitting out, and or you have to
know.
like keep cleaning it up and putting it away the right way and stuff, which is annoying.
Well, especially for like tile and backsplash and stuff, like you want to like set it all up so that the countertop doesn't get all messed up. And I don't know,
Yeah.
there is like this have you guys seen the tile like sticky things? So instead of using like what is it, mortar or like
Like you
the
can use like a double-sided tape or something to actually
it's
put
like, yeah,
actual
it's basically
tile.
like double-sided sticky tape, so you can like put your tiles up and then you just grout over top of it, and it looks
That's
like
sick.
so much easier than because that was like my biggest pain in the ass when I did it before. I was like, I didn't back butter it properly, I couldn't get it smooth, like the
And then the
consistency of the
evenness
stuff
doesn't matter. Like it could
yeah
totally
yes, I
it's
forgot
like
about how
inconvenient.
uneven everything was. Yeah, I don't know, I don't know, I'm gonna definitely get some quotes, I think.
And then it would like not ruin if you wanted to like change it out and stuff. You could probably more easily change it out than like actually putting tile on.
I know. But my dad was like, I can't do the tile because like the fabricator is going to come measure the countertops. And that takes like, they said about 2 weeks to like measure the countertops and cut them and everything. So my dad will be gone by that point. And you have to do the tile after that happens. So
Uh-oh.
I had tile on my wall and then the countertops changed and that didn't affect anything.
True. I'm really jealous of your bathroom tile, Devin.
I know,
literally,
it's
like
so cute. The
it's
pink?
so,
can
so
get it.
cute. Huh?
Do it in your house.
No, but remember I'm doing trade with them, but like they just keep taking forever. And like I even followed up with them after I saw your video too, because I was like, why is it taking so long? And they were like, we're really, really behind on like influencer things, but they're like
You could just
working
buy
on
it.
sending everything out.
What color
I
are
don't
you
wanna
doing?
do
What
that.
are you choosing?
The dark green
I
Zeliage or
love
whatever
the dark
Morocco
green.
one. It's very cute. Well,
Joe wants to do that for his
has looked
bathroom.
cute in our kitchen. Oh yeah,
I want to try their
pretty.
floor ones in my on my bathroom floor next and see how that
Ooh,
holds
Yeah,
up.
That would be
probably
really
be
cute.
Yeah.
How do you have to like grout on top of them still?
No,
like,
it
have
looks
fake
like
grout.
grout. Yeah.
Damn.
You just have
That's pretty
to
cool.
cut them well.
Was that
Like
hard?
I did not. I half-assed the cutting. So like on the sides of the wall, it looks like shit, but I don't really care.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't.
I
really
was
care
just
about
cutting
those
it with
things either, and
scissors. I
sometimes
wasn't
I'm
like
ugh.
doing like a level or anything. I was just like, oh, that's fine, whatever. Like,
Well, also
Yeah.
it's annoying too because walls aren't straight. So even if you did cut it
Yeah.
perfectly straight, it probably like wouldn't like be straight on the wall anyways.
Someone's like in my front yard. I think a salesperson.
uh-oh.
What?
They've just been out and about, like, and they're on their scooters. They're scooting around. The salespeople. No, the salespeople.
Dude, that's so
Solicitors.
wild that we like talked about the salespeople and they're just swarming.
I know they've been like out. I don't know if it's like the weather's good, so it's like time to get out there or something.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's very interesting.
At least you have a lot of practice being like, fuck off.
Yeah, well, I
Do you get a
taught
little
Cameron this
sign?
thing.
No soliciting.
No, we should get one. One of our neighbors was just telling us that like doesn't help, like that
Yeah.
people still come up all the time and like it doesn't even matter, or they'll even say like we're not selling anything, we just want to talk to you. But like,
Yes. Oh my God, I hate that.
We
that's
just
crazy.
wanna
But I
share our
taught
marketing
Cameron because
plan
we have
with
this
you.
like we just want to share a marketing plan. we have this like window in our living room, and so like I just sometimes like I just tell them no through the window, like I don't even answer the door or anything. And I told Cameron that, and now he's like loving it. Like he just goes up to the window and he's like,
But
no
then-
thanks.
How do you know that
good.
they're selling something and not asking you a question? Because I get curious. Like,
What would they be?
is it a neighbor?
asking
Like,
us?
is it?
I don't care
I don't know.
anymore.
It could be.
Leave a note. If it's
I don't
important, leave a
know.
note.
Yeah.
Leave your number, leave a card.
And they're like clearly like these. It's like two people on a scooter. Like they're with
And like a bird
clipboards.
scooter. Like
yeah.
That is so funny. Lazy
so
little
weird.
shits. Get out there and walk yourself to this door.
I know.
To each door.
Imagine like the Mormons just all have scooters.
That would be hilarious. That would be a great
their
little bit.
seats. That would be really cute.
My
how
back
are your
wall is getting
weekends?
spray painted right now. Not spray painted, but
What did you decide on?
Right.
Alabaster?
alabaster. Yeah.
Which one
looked the
was
most
that in
neutral.
your picture?
The one on the right.
I could not tell a
not
single
helpful,
difference
but-
in your photos.
Yeah, it just looked a little less because I wanted them to be warm whites, not cool, because it's going to be outside with the
Mhm.
sky and stuff. I don't want it to
warm.
look gray or anything. Yeah, so
Does it look gray?
yeah, not at all.
That's good.
But it
It
also
is
doesn't
funny.
look too yellow.
How they look so different on each thing.
Yeah, it's very weird. Like to me, I'm like, it's too white. It's too white. It's like no hint of gray at all.
Is your whole house alabaster? Obviously, besides your living room.
Yeah, and that one wall I painted in the kitchen and my office.
Did you guys paint everything?
Yes.
Damn.
Sometimes
your
I forget on a
closet done?
podcast, I'm like nodding my head. Yes. No. We'll probably do it slowly.
Yeah.
That's the sucky thing about doing the IKEA closets is like you have to build everything, right? Like you have to put everything together.
Yeah, but honestly, that was not hard at all.
Yeah.
Doesn't it take a while
the
though?
closet
Like
piece.
Yeah, it's like
I
the
remember
actual like
my-
he has to do like drywall now, like around it. That's like, and that's not hard either. It just takes time.
when I was building that IKEA daybed, it took me like probably 10 hours total. Like I had to do it in separate days.
Oh my gosh.
Have
Yeah.
you built a lot of IKEA furniture?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've built a lot of furniture.
Yeah.
I don't hire people to do it for me.
I do feel like you kind of get in a rhythm after you build some of that shit where it's like, okay, where is the, you know, they always have those damn like half turn thingies and then the like half screws that go into those.
Yeah,
But
it's
when
nice
there
you're
are
doing the
so
same thing
many
over and over.
steps,
Yeah.
like if you mess something up in the middle of it and you don't realize and then you have to take it all apart,
That
like I've done
is
that
the
too. So I have to
worst.
be very meticulous and make sure that doesn't happen.
The worst
I
is doing
hate
it
when that
backwards
happens.
where it's
Yep.
like you just put it on the opposite direction. You're like, fuck.
Yeah. And like the daybed has drawers. So if you put the little
Yeah.
like the things that the wheels slide onto wrong or something, then the drawer
Yeah.
won't even go in. Like
That's brutal.
Yeah. I would say
It's
the
annoying.
closets were not that hard. The kitchen, like if you're doing an IKEA kitchen, that is something you definitely either want to hire
Wait.
people or have multiple helpers.
Did you guys get, I can't remember this. Did you just get like the flat boxes of your kitchen and then you put every cabinet together?
Yeah, we
Oh,
probably
that's
had like
crazy.
100 boxes. But that was when all of our parents were in town, and
That's
Cameron's
nice,
mom
yeah.
has done like 5 IKEA kitchens and like houses that she's helped decorate and rental houses and stuff. So she like fully had it planned out. Like we had piles of each thing, and like
Yeah.
my mom was just building drawers, and like once you get the hang of building a drawer, it's like all the drawers are the exact
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
I am very grateful that most of the stuff is not like
Yeah, that's awesome.
we have to assemble. We'll just have to like level it, put a bunch of shims in, and do like the finishing pieces.
Yeah. And then it sucked because, like, in Oregon, there's no sales tax. So a lot of the times when we go to IKEA, we go get
Oh,
furniture and it's
right.
like just there's no tax. So it's so nice. But because our kitchen had to be delivered in Washington, they had to tax
That's
it.
so annoying.
Yeah.
That
That would have like
sucks.
saved like $1,000.
Yeah.
Could you have got like rented a U-Haul?
No, they wouldn't let us. We like literally
What?
they thought about that, like, because it would be cheaper to just get a
You couldn't do like
U-Haul.
store pickup?
Mm-mm.
That's
so
crazy because that's
rude.
like the point of IKEA, like to
I
go
know.
I
and pick it
know.
up. Like, and that's crazy that with the cabinets they are not letting you. I wonder if it's because it's in Oregon, right by Washington, and they're trying to
To
not
get the
deal with the
tax, yeah.
tax situation or something.
I have no idea, but it was super weird. We literally haven't done the intro. I just realized.
It's okay.
Well, welcome back to another episode of So Glad We're Friends. I'm Maggie.
I'm Devin.
I'm Brittany.
Maybe want to cut some of that anyways. Sometimes we talk about boring things at first.
I know. I feel like talking about our home renovations is super boring.
Yeah, I was looking at the YouTube like keyframes like of where it was like picking the episodes of what we talked about in the beginning, like when people watch, and it was like I didn't go into every single one, but they were more interesting topics. Like when we opened the episode talking about something more interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you shuffling a deck of cards? What is that?
I just had to open up my bag of turkey.
Oh, it sounded like cards being shuffled. Yeah, Brittany sends us a picture. She's chilling by a pool, looking all beautiful. She sends a picture. She's like, "Look at my turkey sandwich. It's absolutely not a turkey sandwich. It's a sandwich made of only turkey.
It's just a big fat roll of turkey meat.
It was necessary.
Such a sandwich.
It would be
I
good
call it
with
a
like
sandwich
maybe
now
some
because of
lettuce
the
and
plain.
tomato or something.
Yeah.
I
What
know.
do you know? Like the veggies of it all?
No, I
Or
do.
like
It's just like
a
efficiency.
sauce.
I just needed to get a little bite before the winery.
Especially you need a little bite before a winery.
Yeah, it was most necessary.
Brittany also revealed her parents. Can we please insert a photo? She sent us pictures with her family too
Giving
at the
me work.
winery. It was so cute.
I
Sorry,
can't
you
believe I
already have
haven't
to put in
sent
your
them
paint
before.
samples.
I thought you were
No, like, I think-
your family or something.
What?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said I thought you were
No.
gatekeeping your family or something.
No, I don't know why I've never sent my family. I swear I have, but I guess I probably haven't.
I think your dad probably we've seen. And like
I've
maybe
seen your dad
sisters,
because
but-
I can just imagine what he looks like.
Yeah.
Like, but maybe it's
I thought
because
that
he
too.
looks like you. So
Yeah, I feel like I do.
But
look
your
like a mix of my
sisters is
parents.
crazy. Like literally triplets.
I know. I hate how my family isn't like that. Like none of us look the same.
I think
I think
you
it's
and Lexi
harder
look
cool
the
to
when
same.
do when
families
you're
look-
in it.
I don't think me and Lexi have ever looked the same.
I think that you look the same in certain like photos, and if you guys have your makeup done like very lightly,
Mm-hmm.
if you guys
It's
do
also
your
hair.
makeup at all, it like changes what you look like.
Like if siblings' hair is so different, that makes a huge difference.
I know
think,
it
of
really
how
throws
you
people
look.
off.
I
Yeah.
just like
Like, if
have
me and my
never
sister's
looked at a
hair's the same.
picture. It's funny
Really?
because when I look at old pictures of my grandma, like my grandma has her hair is crazy, but like seeing her in her 40s, I'm like, holy shit, that is a copy and paste of my mom. Like if you look just like the face, like
Mhm.
they look exactly the same, but I don't see that with like anyone else in my family.
There's like certain pictures now where I'm
Mhm.
like, oh my god, I look like my mom, or oh wow, I look like my dad a lot here. But it definitely isn't like all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's cool.
Yeah.
I
It
love
was a
when
really
I
good
see
weekend.
families and they all look the same. Like you can tell that they're all related.
Mhm.
Yeah. I feel like my dad's siblings look a lot more similar to me now. There's like 5 of them.
That's cool.
So, but it's definitely, I didn't always see it, you know? It's like more just like over time. That you
Yeah.
start to see like, oh, this is like their eyes are the same, or their noses are the same, or chins. I feel like my grandpa had a really prominent chin and nose. And so like I see those in my dad and like his siblings.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys done a DNA test?
No, but I want to. I talk about it with my family every
Same.
fucking Christmas. Like, we should do it. We should all do
I know,
it.
and then like that's the time we should buy the test, like as a Christmas present.
Yeah. Or it'd be fun to like do it all on Thanksgiving or something and then open the results together
Present
on
it.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Wait, that's actually
It would
so
be
smart to
interesting.
do it.
I would like to see too, like what my similarities and differences are with my siblings, like what have, like what comes from what.
Yeah,
because my sister did do it, but I'm like, that's not gonna be the same as mine. So I want to see what my mom brought in.
Yeah.
I feel like your brother and sister look the same.
Yeah, I mean they're like twins. It's so crazy the difference of now seeing my sister's kids. Like her youngest, Connor, is literally my sister. Like we were watching old home videos. They talk the exact same. They look the exact same. They laugh the exact same. Like he was watching a video.
I love
and
that.
Is that me? Like he thought it was him in the video because they look so
really
much
cute.
alike.
I
So
love
much.
how
And
our
then the older
speaking
one
voices are like, we
Yeah.
adapt to talk the same way as like our parents and siblings.
That's kind of freaky to me. Like I don't get that. Like how do me and my sister have the same laugh? Like that's so interesting.
Yeah, I don't know about the laugh thing, but I think like the way you talk and the inflection and stuff is just because that's what you grew up and you like do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
True. Yeah. Very interesting. Bodhi, we're taking Bodhi tonight to his new house, and it's his birthday today. Yeah, I'm like sad and happy at the same time. It's like such a weird feeling. Like I keep crying. Like I said goodnight to him last night. And I was like, this is the last time I'm gonna say goodnight to you. And then I was crying then. But I'm like also so happy. I think it'll just be like I don't know how I'll feel there. I don't want to cry there. Like I want to be excited, and so he's excited and whatnot.
That's the hardest thing though, because you're like, don't cry.
I know, and then it makes you cry. Yeah, I'm thinking like if I could hold till the car at least. But I'm like, I don't really know how it goes. Like, how quick is it gonna be? Is it just like a quick like, okay, here you go. Here's all his stuff. Like, thanks. But she's like, literally, she's 20 minutes away, and she'll send so many updates, and she has an Instagram, and like,
oh, cool.
I know that I'll see him at least via social media frequently.
Do you feel like it's best to like hand him over and then like let him get used to them versus like, oh, he's like seeing you leave, or it's better for him to get comfortable while you're still there and then leave?
I don't know. Cameron was saying like, oh, we probably just kind of like, it maybe is better if we just leave kind of quickly. But I was like, I'm gonna, because the owner of the rescue, well, she's not the owner, but she's like my contact that lives in our city. She's gonna come too, so like I'm just gonna kind of let her take the lead and like handle things. I'm really awkward at like leaving situations or saying bye and things. Like I'm like I don't know how to like end things. I'm just like, okay, bye. But it'll be good. And then her husband's a firefighter and he's working tonight, so like he'll come home to him tomorrow morning.
That's so really gonna be so special.
But they're so excited. Like they've been texting me. They bought a bed for him, like an orthopedic bed for his joints, and like they're very excited.
I still can't believe how much of it the responsibility is on you.
For what? Of finding a person?
Finding, choosing, like it's all kind of like on your shoulders. I didn't really like. Is that the way it is with kids? Like, do you foster kids?
No. Well, so also I've talked though to other friends and like the rescues and like Muddy Paws in New York. They don't let them choose whatsoever, and they don't even see applications or anything. They like sometimes don't even get to say bye. Like they'll drop them off at an adoption event and they'll leave with the person right away, or like it's pretty much first come first serve. And like with this, it is first come first serve too. Like she was the second applicant, and that first one, the girl was just too old. But like I think because the next applicant after her had just already been pre-approved with the rescue. Like they already did a home visit and stuff at his house. So I think they're trying to be like, well, this would be easy because we don't even have to do a home visit or anything. Like he's already approved and Bodhi could just go to him. But I was like, but he's already applied and he'll be open to other dogs and stuff. So then we could in theory save 2 dogs. If he's open to other dogs, he could take another one. And then these other people who just want Bodhi specifically could take Bodhi. So I feel like it worked out perfectly.
Yeah. That's really
But
sweet.
technically I don't like choose. They just give us input. But like she very much listened to me.
But I guess I didn't realize like you were going to be responsible for like coordinating a lot of it. Like,
yeah,
I thought the rescue was going to be doing a lot more like, oh, it's, you know, we're going to come by at this time and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to meet them.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know. It's interesting to learn how different rescues do it. Because I think the Humane Society is kind of more the same as Muddy Paws. But I liked it this way. I don't know. Like the rescue did even say when we did the home visit, she was like, you could just leave him there, like if it goes well. And I was like, no, I want to take him home first so that I know it's like our last few days.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But it's been
Will
great.
you do it again?
Definitely. But like, I think we'll take like the summer for sure off because the dogs need a break and we need a break. And like, just the double walks and the like not being able to go on little day trips or things where we take the dogs out more has been annoying. So like I want to have the summer to be able to be free then probably like in the fall.
I think it's so interesting. Like we brought my dad's dog with us because he didn't want to like board him while he was gone. And it doesn't really like feel like that much more work, but it like definitely is. Like even just in the morning, like my dad's dog comes up and snuggles and Rosie's like, what, is it my turn? Like, I want attention. Like, and then, you know, you're trying to give equal attention and like walks and just like they need different types of stimulation. Like he's a German Shepherd Malinois. So like he needs a different level of like, we're trying to make sure he's like working still.
Mm-hmm. It's so crazy to me when people have dogs of like two very different breed types where they like fully need to do different activities with each one. Like that would be so hard.
Yeah. But it also like makes me really think through having a dog that really matches our lifestyle instead of just like, okay, I want to get another dog, because I've dog sat like my friend's dog and I would just like fucking go insane if I like had him as my full-time dog. And then like watching my little sister's dog, like I hated that. But like my dad's dog, it's fine, you know? So it's like, okay, finding the right dog. And I feel like finding dogs that are like, if I was to adopt like a dog that's very neutral with Rosie, because Rosie, like for the most part, they kind of just ignore each other. And that was that's kind of nice to find dogs that
I think it works well that way.
Don't have to be like constantly overstimulated together.
Well, and your dad's dog is like very well trained, right?
Yeah. Now he is.
Yeah.
After my dad got him. It's also crazy to think that through too. Like, but when my sister had him, he was a horrible dog. Like, and it wasn't his fault.
You just put
like
in the work.
It was not his fault at all. And now he's like a precious little angel.
Oh my God. Somebody, I'm not going to say who, obviously. Someone came up to Cameron yesterday and was like, I saw your wife like is doing this fostering and you guys have been fostering. Like, what's the rescue? Because like my wife's postpartum right now and we've been really thinking about giving up our dog. And so we were just wondering the information. Like my wife's just very annoyed with the dog.
Okay, give it some time.
But like it's just so crazy because there's so many situations like that, or like your sister taking care of them or whatever, where it's like there are ways to solve it or like ways to figure it out, but then those situations are like added on top of all these other dogs that need help that are like in horrible neglect and abuse situations. And it's like a lot of the time like you just have kids, maybe you're paying a little less attention, but it's still better than like being in the shelter.
Wait, I wonder if there's like a service that could be done instead of dogs having to like get rehomed. Like it could just be a postpartum service where you're like, here, I'll take care of your dog for like 3 to 6 months while you like get used to having a baby. And
that is so smart. They're definitely starting to do like services, especially at rescues, where they do like, because that happens a lot with older people, especially like you get too old and then you can't care for your dog. So they have services where people come and like help the old people like take care of their dog and take them out and whatnot. Or like if you're short on money, help provide food or cover vet bills or whatever. Because it's like some people are just in temporary situations. Yeah. That's so smart to do postpartum.
Yeah. Because I'm sure there's like sometimes dogs I know don't get along well with kids. So like that's kind of a hard situation where like they can't really keep the dog. But like if it's just an overwhelmed, like overstimulated situation, like if you can't give it to family member,
so
like
smart, actually. That's like very smart. Like I feel like that could be like a
I think you should start it with your dog cafe.
Wow, yeah, a little postpartum subdivision.
It makes me sad that a dog is even in a home where you can think that. Like, because obviously the dog isn't as loved as it could be.
Exactly. So then it's like I'm not as judgmental, or I used to be way more judgmental about rehoming, and like now I see like, oh, this was better for Bodhi to leave. Like even though he had a mom that worked from home or whatever, it's the new home is going to be better for him. So
yeah.
But I feel like postpartum you can't even like. It's such a different world.
It's like how they say like you can't divorce or like make any big decisions while you're pregnant.
I hate my husband right now.
But also like if you really loved your dog, you would know, like, I don't know, you wouldn't just right away be like, we're thinking about giving it up because she's annoyed at
I think
it
is a personality thing. Like you're probably not that much of a dog person to begin with, I would assume.
And a lot of people just get dogs because they're like, this is, the American dream. It's the next step. You get married, then you get a dog, and then you have a baby. Like a lot of people just get dogs because they think like this is like what everybody else is doing. And
that's very true.
I think this is very good segue to our topic.
That's what I was gonna say.
Friendship changing when friends become parents.
When I first saw this topic, I thought we were going to be talking about being friends with your parents. Yes.
Yeah. I did.
I was like,
once I was
writing
it, I was thinking like, should we cover both in the same topic in the same episode? Because I was thinking that different. As well.
Yeah.
They're two different, but maybe that could be another episode, is like your friendships with your parents.
Yeah. But did your parents do a good job or not?
Yeah. We get like a lot of, it's a very common question that we get when we ask for advice about people going through friendship changes, whether their friend had a baby or whether they're the one that had a baby. And one day I came across this article on The Cut that came out like last month, where this girl was asking for advice, basically in that same situation where her friends were starting to have babies, and she just felt like those friendships were slipping away. So we're gonna talk about how that's affected us in our lives, and then read some Reddit and audience questions, confession things. I don't know if we should go through the advice first. Maybe, yeah. I didn't know if we should because like a lot of them sound similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can read it. Okay, ready? Dear Emily, I don't know how the hell to talk to my friends who are new moms. It's an age-old conundrum, certainly, but it feels like the stakes have ratcheted up significantly this year. I'm 31, so my friends have been settling down, getting married, and buying houses for years at this point. Where I'm from, women start getting engaged around 25, sometimes earlier. But this year was the first that I felt being the only single person in every room, family included, and it's been really isolating. I hope to head down that path of motherhood someday, but at the moment, it feels like my mom friends and I are living in different universes. On one hand, I understand why it's becoming more and more difficult to stay close friends, especially with those who have newborns. Everything happening in their lives feels urgent, so it's not realistic to expect them to pick up the phone and make time to chit-chat aimlessly about housewives. But on the other hand, this is going to sound selfish and a little out of touch. I'm getting sick of being the last person asked how they're doing at every dinner table. I am making efforts to understand what their new lives are like, but the only consistent questions I get are about how's dating, seems fun, or very simplistic questions about work without much follow-up. Friendships ebb and flow, and I've seen that happen throughout my life. Some of my best childhood friends have come back around and are now important fixtures in my life 20 years later, and I'm sure that these friendships will get back to some semblance of normalcy when my friends aren't so worried about feeding schedules and learning developments. But for now, I'm really sad about my life taking a backseat to everyone else's, and I'm not sure how to stay involved without getting resentful. I know 10 years from now, I'll be going back to these same friends for advice when I have a child of my own. In the meantime, I just want to make sure we don't lose or severely damage the friendship. What should I do?
I feel like my current state is more like anxiety for like what's to come, because most of my friends like don't have babies yet, but like it's the year that like it's happening. Like, so
the year of baby.
One of my friends is like, she like shared her like plan. She's like, I'm going to go on this trip, and then I'm going to take my IUD, and then we're going to like start trying. And then another friend was like, after X date or something, like she wants to start trying. And so it's kind of like the anticipation for me right now, of what is to come, I think. But even like with some of the experiences, just like Joe's sister, I think it's really hard for moms. Maybe it's not hard for all moms, but I do think it could be sometimes hard for them to tell people like what they actually need and what they want. And that's where I feel like I kind of don't know what to do, because I'm like, I can assume something might be helpful, but it could be like the least helpful thing possible. And you could be like, can you shut the fuck up? Like, don't talk to me.
Yeah, but that's hard because you probably won't know until you have kids, or if you do.
Yeah. But what I mean is like, just like, I think how, just finding different ways to be like, I want to be as supportive as possible in this time for you. And like, I think even honestly in the trying to conceive phase, I think that's something that I'm like learning with my sister, where she's like trying right now. And I'm like, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I also don't want to be like, I don't know, like not helpful, like, so I think it's kind of a balance of like wanting to be empathetic, but also just trying to be a resource or trying to be supportive at the same time. And I feel like it's kind of through that entire process of like trying to conceive, pregnancy, and then postpartum. Like there's just different levels of support and needs in each phase of it.
I feel like I was going to say something around that, but then I forgot. Oh, I was going to say it's so easy to like not say anything when you're scared of saying the wrong thing. I feel like I tend to do that a lot. That can be difficult. But I also think it really, like for me, I have one friend who had a baby at 20. So that was like the earliest, I guess. That was like a shocker. It was a surprise, obviously. But since then, I have like a few friends who have babies, but I think the main thing I've noticed as my friends become parents is like it really has to do with how your friendship was even before they were parents. Like, were they the type of person who was questioning you about your life and like still engaging with you and wanting to know about you and your dating life, or remembering things that you're telling them and whatnot? Because if so, like I've noticed with my friends who have babies, they still ask about me and whatnot because they were before. And then in some friendships, people are just like less caring like that. And then I wouldn't expect them to be doing that once they do have kids, because they don't really do it without having kids.
That's such a great point. I'm sure though, like when people have kids and they like don't reflect on that, it just feels amplified because you're only talking about yourself, even though you've always only talked about yourself. Like it just feels amplified because you're like, this is such a different life stage for me and you.
For sure. And I thought like my best friend Ashley had her baby in January, and like the whole last few months of her pregnancy and the whole first postpartum, I like just wasn't wanting her to talk about me or whatnot. Like I was knowing in my head, like, I want to focus more on you. I want to hear more of like the things that you're going to be needing help with or complaining about, or whether you just want to vent, or whether like whatever it might be. I like for those few months or whatever, I can like put my own stuff aside to know that the focus does need to be on her more. But then like if I'm going through something outside of having a baby, but like it could be your friends going through any life events, sometimes you need to pay more attention to those friendships in certain time periods. And everything's like a phase, really.
I also think that just like, I think we're kind of in a unique position of entrepreneurship and content creation. And while you can like talk to, all of your friends about those things, it is like such a different conversation when you're talking like to other content creators or entrepreneurs about the same things. And I think that that's like okay that you have different friendships for different things. And you can kind of have this like awkward like adapting period for like your new friendship of like, okay, what do we talk about? Like, how do we kind of connect? Like how, how are we going to spend time together? What's like the best kind of way to do that? But it makes sense that there's like, they're going to gravitate towards people that are like in that same phase of life as them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was that episode of World's First Podcast where they had that friendship expert, and I've been wanting to talk about it, so I guess this is a good opportunity. But the expert was basically, the main point was your friendships have to have a why. Like there is a reason that you are friends and benefiting off of each other and this connection and friendship. And so when your lives change so much like that, your friendship kind of loses its why, because you're not necessarily being able to talk to them about the things that you're interested in. They're not able to talk to you about the things that are going on in their lives because you're not like relating or in the same stage of life anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to kind of find a new why for that friendship.
Yeah. I also just thought...
So no, go ahead.
I was just going to say too, I think sometimes this just like came to me, but I think sometimes in a friendship we're like so used to kind of our rhythm. Like I'm going to ask about how Cameron is and how the dogs are. And I know like background on like the dogs, and I know background on Cameron, and I know like, you know, the different things about your life. And I think when it comes to like, if you don't have a kid, I think it goes back to kind of just like being curious and like letting them teach you different things about like their situation or like what's going on. Because I think that's honestly where I feel so awkward. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, is your baby talking yet? And they're like, not, you know, they only say goo goo gaga blah blah whatever. And you're like, that's stupid. But like, I think instead of trying to assume things, I think it's better to be like, oh, like what's new this week with him? Or like what's, you know, what are you looking forward to? Or what's like, you know, just kind of like asking more questions and being curious about it versus like trying to assume things or like, you know what I mean?
That's a really great point, and I'm so bad at that because like sometimes if I feel like I should know something, then I just don't ask at all because I feel like embarrassed, like, oh, I should know that information about their kid, or like I should know that, so then I just don't ask at all. But
well,
like,
that's literally what came to me right now.
More.
Like, wait, I don't know fucking anything about kids. Like I am like I know like how to help and like hold a baby and change a diaper or whatever, but like I have no idea developmentally like what's going on. So why am I trying to pretend like I know what the situation is?
Yeah. And then that also depends on your friendship, because I feel like it's harder in those situations if you only talk like once every few months or something. Then you're like, okay, what am I even asking? What are we catching up on? What period is their baby at? Versus like with Ashley, it's like we still talk every single day. So it's not as much like she's just sending me whatever updates from the last day. Like it's not as much like I need to how is she doing developmentally and like what is happening with this? It's like more consistent conversation. But I do think that also depends if you're like, if you like kids in general, or if you're like a really anti-kid person, because like I love her. This is a first friend, or not like the first friend that's had a baby where I'm obsessed with their baby, but like it's like I love her so much. This baby came out of her, like she grew this baby. I love the baby so much, so I'm interested in her.
And you want to have babies soon too.
And I want to have babies, so I think that is different than somebody who's like, I don't want to be around your kid. Like I don't care, and I don't know how to this even information.
Act. Yeah,
that's so true. Yeah, like I really care about like CJ, like my niece, but there's not like all kids that I really care about as much. Exactly. So sometimes that's where it's like, how do I fake it?
Yeah.
One of the biggest advice points in that article was that you just have to give it time. Like your friend is not going to be so obsessed with their baby forever. It's not going to be a newborn forever. They're going to get in the swing of things, and they're going to want to talk about other things besides their kids at some point too. So it's kind of just like, you know, waiting in the sidelines. Like I'm here for you, but you know, I feel like Chelsea Handler was just talking about how all of her friends now are getting divorced and they're all single together again in their 50s. Like, so funny. You know, they're back. I've been waiting for this. Like the kids are off at college and there's this resurgence.
That's so funny.
I know.
I love that.
And,
that's really interesting.
Yeah, someone was like, oh, I can't wait until I'm at that stage of life too. Like,
it's crazy because I was actually it was like a news article thing about how like parents who put too much of their identity into your kids, where it's like, I'm a mom, that's like my, like so much of your happiness goes away after that, because it's like in theory then 18-20 years is such a short blip of time, and then it's like you do have to go back to your marriage and your friends and like the way life was before them.
Bethany
So-
Frankel was talking about that, where because she's talking
Really?
about like her dating life, where a lot of men were like really rich and they dated a younger girl or like a girl that just didn't have a job, and so their whole job in life was like being a mom and like taking care of the house and everything. And then the kids go off, and the dad, the husband is still like working his ass off at work or like finding new projects and new things, and like the wife is like, I don't have a will to live, like I don't have a purpose.
Yeah.
And then it like I guess causes a lot of divorces. And when like the people that she's been dating, they don't want that like stereotype again. They want like somebody who's established or has their own things going on, because it's like so hard like to find something to relate to.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love how also like in the article she makes like a point of like both people in the friendship are really allowed to have their own feelings, and both people can kind of be assholes in the situation of like, well, I want you to hear about all these boys that I've been making out with, and then it's like, well, I want you to hear about my freaking baby. Like there's both people can be selfish, but at the same time it's like both people have the rights to have their own feelings. And I like how she said that if you are the single person or just a person without kids, to not put yourself in too many rooms where you are the only single person or you are the only person without kids, and like get those friendships that are in the same life place as you, so you do feel less alone.
Yeah.
I think the thing that hurts me the most as like the single person without kids is that the married people and the people with kids kind of just start not inviting you anymore. Like because you're not valuable to them at the moment, because you don't want to talk about kids and you're not in the same life phase as them, and so they just kind of like, oh, she's not gonna, I don't know what they're thinking, but they just stop inviting you and they only go out and hang out and vacation with their married friends with kids and stuff. And I think that's a fault of those people. Like,
I think that is odd. I don't know if that's like, I feel like we read a Reddit question once, or maybe this was in another podcast, where like the single girl was saying she didn't want to go on those trips anymore because like she felt so uncomfortable and like that they weren't including her and stuff. So she made the choice not to go on them anymore. But like, I do think that is so fucked up. Like that makes no sense to me why you'd be like, oh, this is like only a couple's trip, or like
yeah. And maybe they do it subconsciously, like they just they love their couple friends and they think it's so cool to just hang out with their other couple friends that are married with kids. And like, I don't know, maybe it just kind of, I don't know.
I'm thinking about like one situation where like recently one of the girls in the group like is just very
is your
sour
mic blowing?
And bitter.
Sorry, 1 second.
What?
Is it? Your mic's like kind of sounds like it's like blowing out, but I don't know. It might just be my headphones.
Maybe it went up a little bit. Sorry.
If Devin doesn't hear it, it might just be my headphones having it.
No, I might have just tapped it. Is this better?
Oh, yeah, so much.
Yeah, I think it was just turned up by accident.
Okay, sorry, continue.
What was I saying? Oh, but like the overall like attitude towards just like men and couples and everything has just been like really, really negative. So I think we like asked a couple times, and then since the attitude kind of continued, we were just like, okay, I guess like we won't invite her to some of these things. But I think then it's like also kind of important to like look at it afterwards and be like, okay, like let's do a check-in and see like how she is right now, because it's not like she's not going to be in that phase forever.
Yeah.
I also think too, like in terms of conversations and everything as you're catching up with your friends, like no matter what phase of life you're in, I find myself doing this sometimes when like one of my friends has a lot of things going on and just like has a lot to say. I'll like pull back myself and like not share as much. And I think it's really important to like continue to share and like be like, hey, this is like this is like something that something exciting that happened in my life this week. And just because somebody's not asking you about it, or is like, you know, they went through like the last 3 big things that happened in their life and they just, you know, ran out of steam and didn't ask you the question. I think it's important for you to keep sharing too. Even though for me, like, I don't know why, but I tend to pull back in those situations, and like, don't talk about myself or don't like share other things. But I think it's like important to kind of like clue them in so then they can be excited for you and be part of it too.
For sure. Yeah, like that friend that I was saying doesn't really ask. So I would assume when she's a parent, she wouldn't really ask things about me. It's not that she doesn't care at all. It's more like I just have to be the one to bring it up. And then it's like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. But like, it wouldn't happen without me initiating it. So I think that is important to constantly be bringing up your feelings. But also I do think that sometimes I struggle with, or like my single friends who are dating a lot, I'm bad at sometimes like keeping up with all of it, of like, because I'm like, I don't know how long this boy is gonna last. Like, is this gonna be this was just a one-time thing, or is this gonna be a multiple thing? Like, I don't ever know. So I'm like, I don't learn their names. I don't like pay attention as much, I feel like, as I should.
But that's you stopping caring about the silly
No, that's what I'm
mundane
saying,
things in
that's-
their life, because you're like, well, I'm married, I'm not in that phase of life anymore.
Yeah, but that's bad. That's sad.
Yeah, but it's relatable.
I do think that like sometimes it's important to kind of like make a game out of it too. Like
Yeah,
I have like rosters for my friends, and I like write down their like people, and I like write down like little stories and like different things. And we like come up with like, maybe I don't know all their names, but like we're like, okay, this is like you know, Taco Bell guy, or this is like the bike
I'm like,
guy.
Is this the cowboy? Is this the like like you
and so we come up with like fun stories
on
for
their
each of
name.
them to like make it entertaining.
Yeah.
I should do that. Like, because I'm not in a dating phase in my life, so I don't care about people's dating stories really either.
Yeah. But I think it does. I mean, it does. It's like hard, especially if they're dating multiple people, to like remember what's going on. So that's where I feel like I kind of take mental notes, or like I put it in a notes app or something. I'm like, okay, so you went with this person.
That's like extremely dedicated.
This is like how you met them, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's funny.
But
that's great. Yeah, it's harder to keep up with. But yeah, I do. It is hard. I feel like it really also depends on like your friendships that you have in person too, versus the long distance type of thing. Because I could see myself, like, if in our current situation where we live, if all of my friends had babies and it was constantly like a baby thing, then that would probably feel like out of place for us because we're not there yet. So it like affects me less that my friends 1,000 miles away have a kid than if my friends here had a kid, when our friends here are mostly in our like exact same stage of life, or like just been dating a long time and living together sort of thing.
Yeah, if it's a friend that you have more of a day-to-day thing with, and then that changes, that's going to feel like a really big shift in your life.
For sure. I think it's also like Jewel was saying about like that you can kind of, I think she said this, that you can only have like 5 connections, or like a certain amount of connections that you really keep up with.
Yeah.
So it's like if one of those does become a mom or something, it's like you can still focus on that, but then maybe you do need to like make a new friend that you feel more connected with.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. Just because you're not talking to someone once a week or every day or whatever, that doesn't mean that you don't care about them and that you're not friends with them. Like, you guys are busy. Like, it's okay to drift apart for a bit, because life is long, you know, it's short and it's long.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're 50, I mean, once the kids are out of the house or whatever, or once you have
Holy
kids.
fuck. I just saw a TikTok that said if you were 25 in 2000, those people are 50 now. I was like, oh my God. Isn't that just crazy?
Why does that?
Like, that feels crazy. Because like 2000 doesn't feel like that long ago. And it's like a young 25-year-old in 2000. And it's like now that person's 50. Like, that's crazy. That's been 25 years since 2000.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It's a mind fuck.
My 10-year high school reunion or college reunion is next year.
Holy shit, college. That's crazy.
Yeah. College?
No. My 10-year high school reunion's next year.
Yep.
Mine was this year, I guess. I think I graduated in 15.
Do they do college reunions? Is that a thing?
You did not graduate in 2015, did you?
Yeah.
Did you go to college later?
I took a semester off, and then I had to do 1 semester longer because I tried to avoid a class that I was afraid of, and then they were like, oh, you actually have to do this class, because it was like a journalism class where you had to interview people, and I didn't want to do it, so I was like, oh, I just won't do it. And then
I had to stay 2 grades older than me technically? I thought you were 4 grades above me.
I graduated in 2010.
Oh, so you're only
You were 13? Or you were 12?
I graduated high school in 2012. So we're only 2 grades
then
apart.
I graduated in 2015 from college.
That makes sense.
My best friend my
That's
senior
so
year
crazy.
was a
I was
sophomore.
just in high school, like just partying my ass off while you're just graduating college. So crazy.
Stalking celebrities. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, we were doing the same thing, really.
Yeah.
You just had more means to be in Australia and such.
Yeah. Loans from college. That's how I had money. Taking out as much.
That's how you went to Australia?
Probably because I didn't have a high-paying job or anything.
Wow. Wait,
I
when
still
did you
think
start
about how I
working
made
in
it
college?
I'm like, how did I like get money?
I know. Well, our parents.
Well, yeah, my parents, but then I also like my parents like only paid for like the necessities, which my necessities.
My
were a
sister
little
used
funny,
to.
but
My sister would eat a whole ball of wasabi so that her friends would buy her a drink. Like every time they went out because she had no money.
we would like I would like
just flirt with a
scrounge
boy
for, like,
or something.
$5.
Seems like easier ways to go about that.
And I would tell the bouncer I wasn't paying any cover.
Oh,
You can
of course
let me
you
in
did.
and I'm not going to pay anything.
Yeah.
Or
I'm like, I'm not paying.
That's so funny. That was me at my bachelorette party. I was like, we have 9 girls and 1 gay boy. I was like, my brother's gay though. It's okay.
That's so
He's like,
funny.
I don't care if he's gay, but he's still a man, so he has to pay.
rude. Guys can
should
hook
we
up with him too.
do some confession advice?
Yes, ma'am. Would you like to read first, or would you like me to?
I would love to read. I have a semi-new friend who has a 5-year-old. I don't have any kids myself, but other than that, we're so alike and both have voiced how much we like each other. I feel bad asking her to hang out, though, because I know she'll probably be busy with her daughter and family things. How do I navigate this friendship? What is the normal frequency of hanging out with friends with kids? Do I invite the kid every time? Please help. This is a great
That is very
question.
hard of a new friendship.
I know. This is very interesting.
You have to find the why for the friendship, I think. Does that dictate when you're going to hang out? That dictates what you're going to do together.
That's true. That's true.
And every
Yeah, so
friendship
you
is
have a
different.
lot
You have
alike.
a different. Yeah, so what things do you have alike? Do you like watching Real Housewives? Invite her over or go over to her house with the kid to watch Real Housewives. You know, whatever that, like how I have pickleball friends. We play pickleball together. Like that's when we talk or get together or whatever.
Yeah. I would also probably just be like straight up and honest and be
Yeah.
like about the kid being there every time sort of thing. Like just be like, what do you want to do? Like, do you want her there or do you want alone time, or like ask her opinion on it? Because I would assume that like changes like sometimes.
Yeah.
She
I
might
also
And like
think too,
create a why with that friend. Like, are you a
I need
happy
more
hour
info.
friend?
I'm going to listen to this episode because I don't understand this why business.
Our purpose of friendship is that we have a podcast. That is what we're talking about together, or social media. Like that is. You guys, I don't know if you would talk to me if we didn't have this podcast.
Of course we would.
I would
Not as
we
often
talked
as
way
we
before
do.
we had a podcast.
Well, our why then was
I think we would definitely
content
talk as
creation.
often.
But to
Exactly,
get this
you could say that.
friendship started, it had to have that thing, that mutual beneficial tie.
Yes. The mutual beneficial was like, how much is this brand paying you? Because they're paying me this
Yeah.
much.
And yeah, we're like disclosing information to each other. And especially like when a friendship is starting, like that,
Yeah.
I think helps keep the consistency part so that your friendship can grow. And it kind of like sets rules in a way for a friendship.
I definitely think asking about like, even if you are fine with the kid hanging out with you guys, I'm sure this is like an assumption, but I'm sure there's like a lot of times where she's like, I need a break from my child.
Yeah.
So I would
And
love
maybe
to
that's
go
the why.
just to a girls' night and
Yeah.
drink wine and talk about nothing. So I feel like I would just ask
I
her
agree.
about it.
Yeah. Come
Yeah.
up with
Or
a
you
why.
can
I don't
ask her,
think-
why are you friends? What's our why?
It sounds very when the
I'm
girl was
kidding,
first
but I
talking
get
about
I
it,
just-
when the girl was first talking about it, I was like, oh, that's so transactional. Like, it's kind of like feels a little bit gross and like very scientific and sterile and whatever. But the more you think about it, it's like so true.
But I
No,
guess
get
I
it.
would just
need
think
the
that
context of
most,
the episode to understand it better.
or just like most of my friendships, if not all of them, the why, like my best friendships, is just because I don't know, like what is the
Well,
why?
it's
Like
the
because you
history
mutually
aspect.
understand each other, like they make you feel less alone, like you have community.
Yeah, and you
But
have
that's like every
history.
friend. Okay, interesting. This is the world's first podcast.
I
need to
think
get
it's
educated.
especially just helpful with a new friendship or a friendship that you're struggling to continue to maintain. You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a normal frequency of hanging out. Like that probably is up to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do feel like
some
there has
people
to
are
be
more
some
social
level of
than others.
consistency though, because it is hard to keep like building a friendship without whatever
Definitely.
consistent means to you guys.
My sister, something she does with her friends a lot of the times is like go for walks, like without her
Yeah.
kids too. But they'll like go to the park and like walk around the park.
I
Like,
love
a
and
that.
good
just
walk.
talk.
Like an exercise friend. Like obviously those
Yeah.
friends don't just need to be like you only exercise together, but it helps like kind of give it that glue, I think.
Mm-hmm. And like have consistency there.
Consistency.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, very much. I think also just like sharing your ideas. Like recently with my friends, like we were just kind of spitballing all the things we might want to do this summer. Like I was like, I think I really want to start doing like weeknight trivia. Like I want to do that a few times at a bar, and we want to do a camping trip, and we want to do a paint night and a game night, and like just kind of spitballing all these ideas to see what your friend would be excited about, maybe.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes with new friendships, it's scary to like
For sure.
go outside of what you normally talk about. Like if I sent my pickleball friends like, oh my God, you guys, I did trivia this weekend and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
But
scary
that kind
'cause
of
we don't know if they're going to be like,
expands.
what? But they'll probably be like excited that you're talking to them about more things.
Exactly. Or like with your pickleball friends, for example, it's like then you went to get drinks. So then maybe at drinks you talked about something else that
Yeah.
then would lead to the next sort of hangout or something. Or you could be like, I went to this bar and they had this excellent drink and you said you loved this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read the next one. Recently, a friend I had for years basically stopped talking to me as soon as she became a mother. She became Instagram obsessed, posting millions of pictures of her daughter and basically becoming a mommy blogger. She was the type to just talk about her child. Her child is a nightmare, spoiled, aggressive, and mean. She is raising her to feel entitled to everything. Recently, she texted me in the middle of the day complaining about another friend who quietly had a baby without telling anyone. She was going on and on about how she could have died, how mean it was to not be informed, how moms usually have all day to spend on social media, and the like. I disagreed with her, saying no, not all moms are on social media. I knew her real reason, that she was not important enough to be told, as she is the type to know all the gossip on everyone. Anyways, she's what would you know, you're not a mother, which I found really fucking offensive.
Ugh.
Then proceeded to complain about me to another friend and make a post on her Instagram about, in quotes, how hard it is to have friends who are not mothers. I really cannot stand people who make social media posts about personal stuff. A mutual friend never liked her and used to complain about her all the time, but now she has had a baby too, and all of a sudden they are best friends and she never talks to me. Has anyone else experienced this? This is the second friend who has lost her marbles after becoming a parent. Makes me think, though, perhaps we were never that close anyways.
I mean, she doesn't sound like a great time anyways.
That really
No,
sucks.
she kind
though.
of sounds really shitty. That does suck.
It seems like you might not have a bunch in common anymore because she just wants to be a mommy blogger. And
If she's posting a lot on social media, I'm sure she's like looking for a lot of validation on like her parenting or like what she's going through or, you know, connecting on that. So she's probably looking for a lot of connection and validation through social media.
that's why I post. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, it doesn't really.
And though,
seem-
what would you know? You're not a mother, and like hard to be friends with not mothers is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
no, your friend should not speak to you that way.
Yeah.
No.
No. And even like that's what I also love about my friend Ashley. She's so, because she was also like a huge dog person before her baby, she really reassures me all the time. She's like, it's basically the fucking same. Like, she's like, I love my dog still as much, or like we talk about the same things. And she's like, no, that is the same. Like, it makes me feel more included too, that she's not like lessening, not that I like say I'm a mom or anything, but like just that she does still listen to my thoughts and whatnot, and like, I don't know, it makes me feel validated too, and not like, oh, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah, that's also like an emotional maturity thing, like understanding that that's how you're trying to relate, because that's
exactly
as much the only thing you know, and like being kind and like, oh yeah, like totally, that's just emotional maturity, I think, too.
Yeah. And this is a situation though of like an example where she became friends with another parent, like your other mutual friend, and I think that does just happen a lot. It's weird to kind of see, like sometimes now I see people who were like not friends in high school but are now moms, and then they're like suddenly friends. I'm like, whoa, like you guys like didn't even talk in high school at all, but like now you're still living in the same town and have babies and are living different lives now, and now
they're best friends.
It's so interesting to see the people that are friends from high school, because they just like live in the same town, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe you guys like are friends. Like, I don't even know. This is like so off. It just like threw me off.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I don't really have advice for this though. I just feel like it's a loss. It sucks, but I feel like you're probably right. You're not that close.
Yeah.
That advice from the article: don't hang out in rooms where you're the only single girl any more than you absolutely have to.
Yeah.
Like maybe just start distancing yourself.
Yeah, I agree. That's crazy. Duh.
Do you ever feel sad when your friendships become, or do you ever feel sad when your friends become parents? For reasons I don't wish to explain, I can't become a biological father. And seeing as we're at the age when our peers are starting their next journey, I was wondering who else can relate. After my best friend, who swore he'd never become a father, informed me that he's becoming one, I feel lost. Of course, I didn't show my emotions, but I'm afraid of being lost when I'm in my 30s, and I know I'm selfish, but I hate being around people I once related to and am not relating to them anymore.
It's like there needs to be a big support group of everyone who feels that way, and then just all the single people could then be friends because everyone's feeling the same way.
I think it sucks for this person because like they kind of want what their friends have but can't have it almost.
Oh, and this is a guy, obviously, which is also hard, but I feel like this is a very common thing that when women are going through infertility or anything, it makes it then harder to celebrate pregnancies, go to baby showers, anything like that.
I also think too, this is like kind of one of those situations where your friendship can evolve, and like it's really hard to come to terms with that sometimes, but like they will evolve over time, and this is one that probably is evolving.
I also think it's like your expectations, like if you had in your mind like, oh, we're not having kids together, like my best friend is also not gonna have kids, and we're like imagining the whole future that you'd have, picturing that life, and then they suddenly change it and are having kids. That's like very hard. I struggle with that so much. If like my expectations change and it's like different than what I was imagining the whole time, I like throw a fit. Like that's so hard. It's kind of like you have to grieve the life that you were picturing having, and then like come to terms with this new life.
Yeah, but this is, I think, a very relatable feeling, and you're valid. Your feelings are valid.
For sure. That's very hard.
Friendships changing after you become a parent aren't all bad. You reevaluate your friendships for sure, and likely will lose several friends, but that will just open up the opportunity to create friendships that better fit like your life now. My kids have been out of the house for a while now, but our main circle of friends are our son's middle school friends' parents. You may reconnect with people you who knew a long time ago who are now living a similar life to yours. keep the friendships who respect you being a parent and love your kids, and make new friendships who end up being meaning more to you than you ever could know. It all works out.
I love this one. This was from our audience. Like, I think it's good to show that the good side of things.
Yeah.
And it is so true. Like, literally all of Cameron's parents are his friends' parents from school. And like sometimes
That's
people
so
that
cool.
he's not even friends with anymore, like barely talks to, but it's like they rented a yacht like in the Bahamas or something and were like all sailing together like a few weeks ago. It's so cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
that's,
to
like,
think that, like,
wild.
the friendships that you still have to make in your life.
One of
Like,
my
that's
dad's
so
best friends
crazy.
is like one of my close friends growing up, and him and I are not really close anymore, but like my dad still sees him and they like go fishing together and like literally laugh till they're crying like all the time.
That is so
And
cute.
It's just like, I don't know, I feel like you get the opportunity to meet really cool people.
Yeah.
And even like, it's actually kind of funny because with that friend group that he has, there was people that like my dad like really wasn't that close to, and because of just like shared activities, like they go fishing, they go hunting together, like he became really close with this other guy who like he was like, oh yeah, I think this guy like judged me, or like I don't know what he said exactly, but he was like, the guy made a mention, he's like, you're really cool, and my dad was like, yeah, like I don't know why you were like judging me like so hard before, like you didn't know me. So I just think it's interesting as like friends go on.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so weird to think about friendships that you haven't even made yet. Because it's like we
Yeah.
already feel like we're adults. Like we're at the point where it's hard to make friends and we're not in these new situations. But it's like that's going to be a whole other step to it.
Yeah.
How crazy. My mom literally used to like, she'd drop me off at school and then we'd come out of school and she would still be talking to the other moms. Like that they just
That
stood in
seems
the
so
parking
like
lot
your
the
mom.
entire school day and talked.
Wait, 6 hours, like
That's
all
really
day?
cute.
All day. Like that would happen multiple times.
That's really funny.
And we'd be like, you guys are still out here.
Oh my god,
It's so
that's
funny.
funny.
Yeah. What a great happy note to end on, though.
Yeah.
That's better. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, you just have to be kind of flexible with these friendships changing and adjusting. And you are totally valid to have your own feelings, whichever side you're on.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Any other closing thoughts?
I was just thinking, because we were talking about a man's life, like my dad has totally went through this whole, like, he had his party friends and then he got divorced before all of his friends, so then he made this whole new group of like single friends. And now his like old friends are getting divorced and now they're always around. So like, I don't know, it's cool to see my dad's friendships evolve, and he just has like this random group of friends that always get together and they're all friends now because he's brought them together or whatever.
That is so
And
cute.
yeah.
That's really cool.
I love that so much. I wish my dad had that more. Like, my dad doesn't really have that. But he has his family. I feel like that's, having a big family is similar.
Yeah.
Family that steals from you.
Yeah. Solid fam. All right. Well, thanks so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe to our Patreon if you haven't yet. You can get tons of bonus videos. It's patreon.com/sogladwerefriends. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to watch us. Leave us a rate and review wherever you listen to podcasts, and we'll see you next week. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.